What up guys, and welcome to another CNFT market update video, a video where I go over the top 10 biggest movers this week when it comes to volume in the CNFT space, as well as show you guys a couple projects that have recently come on my radar or are doing something cool. But without further ado, let's get into it. First things first guys, how does the overall volume look like in the Cardano NFT market? And for the most part, we've been hovering in this sideways range ever since November started, going anywhere from about 700,000 to 1.1 million ADA, and you can look at this past week guys, most of the days are hovering in that range, and even in the past month we've pretty much been in that range as well, with some lower days such as 600,000. Now what's really interesting about this is even though volume has been going down and even though ADA has been going down, a lot of Cardano NFT projects have actually been hitting all-time highs. Ape Society is over 10K, Clay Nation is over 4K now, a lot of different projects out there such as Mallard Order have been popping off. So it's one of those weird circumstances where even though the transactional volume has been going down, a lot of these major NFT prices have actually been going up. As far as my strategy goes in the market right now, I recognize that this market is absolutely crazy and we have no idea where it's going. So I don't want to have a lot of my money in brand new projects that are just minting. I think that's really speculative, and 90% of these projects, guys, are not going to make it through the bear market, and you can already start to see that happen with a lot of projects that are already out there. So as far as strategy right now, I'm looking for new projects that I think are going to mint out and be a good quick flip. Most of these projects I'm going to quick flip, and then if I'm bullish on that project, maybe in a month or two, I'm going to buy back into that project and just hold for the longer term. I'm also getting into some different swing trades, but when the volume is as low as it is, guys, a lot of these swing trades aren't going to get the amount of volume you need to really get a good push unless it's something really big that a lot of people respect or grabs a lot of eyes onto that project. The last thing that I wanted to bring up as far as strategy is actually CNFT Jungle's bulk listing and bulk buying tool that's completely free for people to use. This is actually really useful if you need to list a bunch of NFTs or you're doing a lot of volume and you keep getting those pesky UTXO management errors where you just can't list more than a couple NFTs at one time. Literally what you can do, guys, is you can connect your wallet, open up your cart, and you can turn on sweep mode to select different NFTs that you want to list, and then you can literally hit load asset valuation, and it's going to give you the floor for that project, the average price based on the traits that you have, and then the top or the most valuable trait that you have. And you can literally select them, guys, as well as type in an ADA amount that you would like to sell them at, and then you can list them all in one easy transaction, or at least it pops up all the transactions at one time, so it's super quick. And one of the reasons I've been using this tool is I have so much going on in my life between the project and everything going on that there's no way that I can actually monitor and manage all these different projects that I'm holding. So it's really cool is I can list all of these projects at high prices or prices that I think they're worth. And then when the time comes, they'll instantly sell without me having to then identify that it went on a run and then go and sell it. So I really like this tool. Even projects I'm bullish on, I'm like, I might as well list them for high prices so that when the time comes, it'll sell and I won't have to worry about it. And I really like this sort of mindset too, just in the sense of like, hey, I'm buying a project right now because I think it's undervalued. Okay, this project is 200 ADA, but I think it's worth 500 ADA. Okay, I'm gonna buy this project right now for 200 and then immediately list it for 500. And then if it takes 3 months to get there, 4 months to get there, 6 months to get there, whatever, I can always lower the price or I'll sell when the time comes. But this kind of forces you to take profit. And I like that because a lot of times in NFTs, you just start accumulating all these NFTs and your wallet just starts growing and growing. But then all of a sudden you have a bunch of NFTs and no ADA. And then you miss out on different opportunities. And then some of your NFTs that are more rare or that might take a long time to sell, now all of a sudden it's like you got to try to sell those quick to get liquidity quick, and you're not going to get nearly as much money out of it. So I would definitely look into potentially doing that strategy as well. And then that way you're not really thinking about it as much, and then there isn't as much as an emotional attachment. However, if you're just super bullish on a project long term, don't list it, whatever, just keep it in your wallet, but I figured I'd bring up this tip to you guys. Now that that's out of the way, what are the top 10 biggest movers this week when it comes to volume? At number 1, we have Malalrd Order at 656,000 ADA worth of volume. Number 2 is Ape Society. Clay Nation comes in at number 3. Keyboard Warriors Internet Cafe has 300,000 ADA worth of volume at number 4. Cardano Crocs Club number 5. Cabins by Ape Society coming in at number 6. Then we have Chilled Kongs, Oremob, and Raccoon Syndicate at 7, 8, and 9. And to finish off the list, we have Spacebudz coming in at number 10. The first project on the list is the Malalrd Order, and this project has been on absolute fire, guys. They started the month off at around 1,000 ADA, and they doubled that to 2,000 ADA, and now they're back down to about 1,860 ADA. Now, why the heck has this project been absolutely blowing up recently? The big thing is these relics that have been coming out, guys. If you owned one of their invitation letters, you were getting airdropped these relics. There's going to be a total of 6,500 of them. And then if you have the School of Thought role or some of the different other roles in their Discord, you're going to be able to mint one of these relics. You're also going to have a chance at a first come, first serve for these relics if you own at least one of these Mallards. Now, if you own all 5 of these different relics, you're actually going to combine them with a Mallard duck right now, and you're going to get a new mythic one that's going to be an upgraded art collection, and then at the same time, it's probably going to have some additional utilities and benefits that they haven't specified as yet. So pretty cool. I've had my eye on the Malalrd Order for a while now, and this is a project that has been delivering on a lot of different facets. Now, as far as buying in right now, I don't really recommend it. I think this project will do very well long term, and they have a lot of promise, but the amount of volume and the amount of transactions and how hot it is right now makes it, to me, a little too risky to buy. I am expecting a pullback after these relics are finished, and at that point in time, if you believe in the project long term, maybe you buy some of these Mallard ducks at that point. But right now, you're kind of buying at the top. It could still keep pushing, but I think that there's a higher chance of this having a pullback after these relics are finished. The next project on the list, guys, is none other than Ape Society, and this project has continually been breaking down these different barriers, which is insane. Even with a bunch of token inflation and their tokens still going down in value, the actual apes themselves have continually been going up in value. So big shout out to just how strong this community is. As far as recent news with this project, their factory, which is going to be an NFT incubator launchpad program, just announced their first project called the Pioneers. So shout out to their team for finding a project through all these applications that they felt like they could put their brand behind. What's really interesting too about this project, guys, is I've actually been talking to Congo, one of the founders of the project, a lot recently, and I really vibe with a lot that he says, and I really like the dude. Like, I feel like I have a pretty good connection with him now, and I'm understanding his mindset, and I think that this project is in good hands. If you aren't familiar with our Twitter spaces with the Block Investment Group either, we're starting to run them every single Tuesday now at 2 p.m. EST or 7 p.m. UTC, and the past 2 weeks, me and Congo have actually co-hosted this, and I think going forward, we're going to do that a lot more often and make this a regular thing. So if you want to join in one of those Twitter spaces, make sure to follow us because we're going to try to grow it into something really big and hopefully help the overall space as a result. So yeah, just big shout out to this community. Shout out to Congo. I don't own any Ape Society right now, and I do think this price is crazy, but they're definitely a team that is here to deliver and here to stay. Clay Nation was the third project on the list, and this is another project that is hitting an all-time high, or at least going on a massive run. They went from about 3,000 ADA all the way to 4,000 ADA over the past couple of days, and it's all because of the speculation of their claim marketplace coming out before the year ends. If you watch my channel a lot, you'll know that this marketplace was supposed to come out in October, and it didn't, and it kept getting pushed back, but Vlad was saying that it should come out by the end of this year. So obviously, guys, this is going to have a big impact on not only the price of every single Clay Nation, but it's also going to have an impact on their Clay token, which I had said for people to buy back at like 0.02 ADA. I'm still holding about 1.5, 1.6 million tokens of this, and I'm continually holding it. I really think when this marketplace comes out and you can buy different stuff for your pitches, when you can buy different pants for your clays, that we could see this Clay token go on a run. And because all of the Clay Nation products generate this Clay token through the staking, you could see a very similar situation correlation to what happened with Ape Society. Now, I'm not really big on chasing gains and buying stuff while they're hot, but I do think Clay Nation stuff still has some runway, and personally, I am still more bullish on the Clay token. And like I said, guys, there's no real reason to actually sell your Clays or sell your Clay tokens when you know this marketplace is about to come out that's about to give so much more utility and value to everything in their ecosystem. So yeah, I don't know if buying right now is a good idea or not. It was definitely good when I made the shout out to buy it on this channel and in our Block Investment Group Discord, but definitely keep your eyes on this, guys, because if this does come out this month, that's obviously going to be a huge catalyst. The next project on the list is Keyboard Warriors Internet Cafe, and as far as new projects go, this is probably the project that I think is going to have the highest chance of succeeding. The team is well-rounded, they know their shit, they have experience in multiple businesses as well as NFT projects. They've already developed a lot of this project before releasing. I think the art is unique and cool, the website is there, the roadmap is there, everything is there for this project. It really checks off a lot of boxes for me. I personally own about 50 and had bought another like 20, 25 more a couple days ago, and I've already listed them based on the strategy I said earlier in the video for about 400 to 500 ADA range. I do think that in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever the case is, once this project has a little bit more time to build and once more eyes go on this project, I do see it doing relatively well. So yeah, don't go out and buy something just because I bought it, but at least have this project on your radar because I think they have the tools and the resources and the assets to actually make a successful project here. Keyboard Warriors Internet Cafe is doing a lot of stuff, guys. One of the main things that they're building right now is this whole entire internet cafe metaverse thing. And look at this. They just released and they already have some sort of functioning game mechanic here. But essentially, guys, they're going to be building out this whole internet cafe theme where there's going to be different levels to this, where you can play games using their whole 1UP utility token in the future, as well as buy different things in their shop and store. There's going to be different airdrops in the future, different in real life events. I mean, they really have a lot of stuff planned, and I think they have basically the resources to actually execute on a lot of stuff. And whether or not this is a successful idea or not, I have no idea, but it's promising to see such a new project already come out with stuff that projects that have been around for months and months and months haven't even started. The next project on the list is Cardano Crocs Club, and this is another project that has been going on a run recently. They announced their white paper, they had their C4 poker passes, their poker platform came out, and on top of that, they have their whole entire swamp land claim right now, where you're able to basically claim these different pieces of land that are going to have various utilities in the future. One of those utilities, guys, is I think they're mirroring what Ape Society did with their cabins, where any project is going to be able to stake to their different swamps and then be able to get that C4 token, very similar to the Ape Society Cabins, right? So really interesting stuff. I don't know necessarily what a good valuation is for these Cardano Crocs, but I would also keep an eye on their radioactive Crocs because you can also get that C4 token as well. And I think if this project can deliver on their poker platform and continue to improve it and get more users on it, and I think if a lot of people care about that C4 token, if that C4 token gets very, very valuable, we could see a minor Ape Society situation happen with this project. Also in the top 10 list, we had the cabins by Ape Society, and it's a pretty similar situation to Ape Society, right? You can get these cabins in order to get society tokens, and they're also announcing all their different landmarks, so who knows what benefit you're going to get based on where your cabin is located. So you can expect, guys, that if Ape Society is running, that these cabins are going to run as well. And you can also expect that if Society token is running, you're probably going to get a lot more new people in the project. I thought to myself that if the Society token was dropping a lot, that these assets would also drop a lot, but that doesn't seem as much of the case versus the Society token going on a run. And I think the reason is, guys, is when the Society token goes on a run, it attracts a lot of new investors, but when Society token goes down, a lot of the investors that are already in the project don't care as much as new holders, right? So pretty interesting stuff. I don't own any of these Ape Society Cabins either right now, but if you're into the whole, staking these different NFTs and you're bullish on society in the long term, could be something to pay attention to. Next project on the list is Chilled Kongs, and there hasn't really been anything new announced with Chilled Kongs other than the fact that their mushroom airdrop that was supposed to happen 4 different times now should happen in Q1 of next year. So is this going to be a catalyst event where all of a sudden these are about to come out and a bunch of people buy Chilled Kongs and right now it's in its boring phase? I have no idea, guys. Personally, I'm invested in different projects right now and I have no idea if that is going to get delayed again because like I said, it has gotten delayed a couple times now. So I have this project on my radar. A decent amount of those different mushrooms are going to be available for the public. We don't necessarily know the mint price yet. So if anything, I'm probably going to try minting the project more so than getting these Chilled Kongs for the airdrop. The next project here is Oremob. And now that it's been a month or two, I think you're a lot safer buying into this project than you were earlier. It seems like this 400 to 500 ADA range is where they're finding a lot of support. And as far as new announcements in the Discord, the team was saying that they've been meeting up with different strategists and different consultants as far as really outlining their plan for the long term for the project. And their main focus is partnering with different fashion brands in order to really build out this IP, really build out this brand, and really tackle the Web 2 side of things, which I do think is valuable. They also talked about their casings coming out relatively soon in the future, and potentially there being an airdrop for those casings as well. And a casing, guys, is simply being able to wrap a project in their whole entire casing thing, which is what a lot of their OG releases have been. They were also talking about continually building out this story as well and having some different cool animations in it. So pretty cool stuff. As far as Oremob, I usually don't like investing in simply art and IP based projects, but I do see the potential of Oremob being one of those projects that can actually pull this sort of thing off and build out a whole street fashion wear thing. And their owners and their founders do have the connects in the spaces to actually make that sort of thing happen. So definitely a project to keep your eye on. I think buying in right now isn't a bad idea if you believe in their long-term vision, simply because things have calmed down and this is where it has settled. Raccoon Syndicate was number 9 on our list, and I gotta give a shout out to Timmy and Kiyama for really running this project at a high level. I think that they've really done a good job with the different graphics, the different art, the different community events, and they finally released the last part of their collection to wrap this whole entire series up at that 10K. I think there might be a little bit more that is being raffled right now to mint, but for the most part, they're minted out. As far as different things happening in this project, they should in Q1 of 2023 come out with their whole entire hold to earn game with their whole battle point system, which is kind of the bulk idea or the bulk purpose of this project. So it'll be interesting to see how many people actually care about that game, how many people care about the tokenomics of it, and what sort of other stuff Timmy and the team are going to release in the future to keep the interest there. The 10th project on the list this week is Spacebudz, and they've been pretty much holding this 4,000 ADA floor. If you've been watching this channel for a while now, it's pretty much the same opinion with Spacebudz all the time. They're probably building some cool stuff. They don't really talk about it until they release it. And once they release it, there's probably going to be a jump up in this project. Now, I also think that their whole token merge to their new art has to be somewhat soonish, simply because they've been doing a lot of voting in their Discord about these different traits. So a project to keep your eyes on. I've always felt like I could take this money and invest it into a bunch of other stuff and make a lot more money that way. But if you're someone with a lot of ADA and a lot of liquidity and you don't mind holding something safer with the potential of it just randomly popping off in 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever the case is, then I think Spacebudz are a pretty good play. If you don't have a ton of ADA right now and you're not really trying to play it as safe and you're trying to get faster gains, then I think there's better things out there that you could time better. Now that the top 10 is finished, there are a couple projects that I wanted to bring to people's radar that have been doing some stuff recently, and this is going to be kind of a quicker hot take, one take type thing here. First one is Dead Rabbit Resurrection Society. I actually had Button from the team on come to the Block Investment Group voice call yesterday and just learn a little bit more about the project. And I do think that this project is overall very well rounded. I think the art there, I think the community is there, I think the team is there, and they also have the catalyst of their whole entire game coming out probably in Q1, Q2 of next year, or at least the basics of it. They actually have their weapons week coming up this week where they're going to start showcasing some of these weapons that you're going to be able to buy and attach for their mini game. And you can kind of see here, guys, they have 2 different depot keys out right now where you can actually be whitelisted if you own one of these depot keys. So pretty interesting project overall. I have no idea how many people are going to care about their game. It's more so picking your different rabbits or moles or outlanders and then basically picking your different weapons, and they're going to have different stats, and you can choose which a strength attack or an agility attack, and you can verse other people for their dead token. So pretty interesting stuff. I'll keep an eye on this project. I actually think I'm going to buy one relatively soon here. The only thing that I am worried about this project is just asset dilution, because they are going to be minting more NFTs in the future. They aren't going to be doing more rabbits, but you have these moles and you have these weapons, and a lot of times when you get a lot of dilution, it hurts the main collection, but definitely a project to keep your eyes on. Next thing here is Cornucopias. They announced that they're doing a pretty close to free mint happening this month, and you have to own one of these jets and one of these javelins in order to actually be in the tier to mint the project. So do I think buying these jets and javelins for this mint is worth it? No, guys, this is pretty much just a fun mint that they're doing. Do I think that mint is going to be profitable? It might be a little profitable, especially the free ones. The ones that are like $20 to $40, it might not be super profitable, but something to keep your eyes on. With these jets and javelins, they are coming out with their whole entire game early next year, and then in a later point in time, you're actually going to be able to rent them. So if you own these jets and javelins right now, and you don't want to wait, now's not a bad time to sell them, simply because they went on a little run because people want this free mint. If you are willing to wait, there might be a better opportunity to sell these in the future in, let's say, 3 to 4 months when the game and the renting comes out. Next thing that I wanted to bring up is Derp Birds. Now, Derp Birds have been building up hype for a while now. They went all the way to like 1100 and then like back down to around 800, and now they're around 900. But the reason that I wanted to bring them up is because they're saying their season 3 is about to come out really soon, and there is a lot of stuff in this season 3. There's the whole art upgrade from Cosmos, from Pendulum. They're talking about let me go through this. They're talking about having some different special one-to-one stuff, earning different XP, having some different cool graphics and stuff. All of these are going to have a power score that's going to basically unlock different NFTs. They have this whole Twitter raid system where they're encouraging people to basically raid their different tweets, very similar to what Malalrd Order is doing, and it'll reward you in derp tokens. Whenever a derp is listed on the floor, it starts accumulating a derp bag, and then whoever buys it will be able to claim that derp bag. There's going to be leaderboards. They're going to be partnered with Tavern Squad to do this whole questing system where you're going to be able to go on these different quests. You lock up your NFTs from my understanding, and if you're successful in that mission, you might get some derp tokens and different stuff to then customize and upgrade your derps. So pretty cool stuff overall. I think they're also kind of building some other games that are going to use derp as well. A lot of stuff going on with this project. I haven't went out and bought one right now, but I feel like if now might not be a bad time to buy them, simply because we can expect a lot of this stuff to come out in the next 1 to 2 months. Next project here, Her Monster. Her Monster is another relatively new project that we also had on the Block Investment Group. So if you don't own a Jellycube and you're not listening to these calls, you're really missing out, like 100%. But Her Monster had come on, and I really like the team. I really like their ideas. They're building a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't know about and that I personally can't talk about. But these apartments are actually going to be a whitelist to their main collection that's coming out relatively soon. These were actually airdropped and given to their different holders, and they have an impressive floor right now and have been getting a decent amount of volume. I haven't went out and bought a bunch of Her Monster stuff right now, but it's definitely a project that I think should be on everybody's radar. And you can kind of see here on their Twitter, guys, they go over what the exact utilities of these apartments are. You have the staking, you have the whitelist, you're going to be able to level them up. There's going to be different utilities with this, with their gamey thing in the future. So, a project to keep your eye on. Next thing here is Goofy Gophers Mining Club. The reason that I wanted to bring up this project is it's been going on an absolute run as far as floor price. And essentially, guys, what they did is they bought a bunch of, they sold these Goofy miners. There's different classes and specs for them. And what happened is they took that money and they bought a bunch of ASIC Bitcoin miners. And now they're mining those for Bitcoin and different crypto. And there is a profit split to those that own these Goofy miners. Now, what's really interesting with this project, and is this accurate? Did it just jump up to 9? Wow, it just jumped up to 900. But this project is going to have a total of 6,500 more Goofy miners that are going to come into circulation soon. Now, I think this project is a really cool concept. Just realize, guys, that when they add those additional miners, it is going to be an expensive mint. I talked to the founders a little bit, or part of the team a little bit, and they're trying to raise as much money as possible to get as many miners as possible and to really scale up their operation as much as possible. So before going and paying a ridiculous amount right now, just realize that that additional supply is going to have a high mint price. And I think that this project is actually a really cool one and that there's going to be an opportunity to buy this in the future. But right now, I do think that this project is a little too hot and it's crazy. It just keeps going up. I don't think people realize, how much additional money they really want to raise here. Next project here is another project that I talked to the founder recently, Ben, in our VC, and this is Metadams. Metadams was a project that released a long time ago now, and it was kind of dead for a while. They had hired the wrong people that really weren't getting stuff done, but they recently partnered with Tap Nation, which is a major company that not only invested in the project and has given them runway for like 2 years, but also is having a lot of their own team work and build on this project and integrate a lot of their mini games into this. So really interesting. I was hearing about all of the different utilities of their land, and they're actually coming out with their whole entire game in January of next year. So this is something that's already ready right now, but they're waiting to release until after this Christmas season. So a project to pay attention to. I could make a whole video about how this whole entire tokenomics system is going to work, but recently I did buy some land, and I do think that this is a little undervalued. I think I listed most of the land between like 200 and 300 or even more than that, because I do think that more eyes are going to go on the project soon. The next thing here that I wanted to bring up is Mandrillz. They are doing something pretty cool with their whole entire World Cup. I know they've been doing this for a while, but you can actually buy some of these packs, and they're kind of getting into the whole card market where you can buy these different packs, manage them, collect them, all this sort of stuff. So pretty cool thing. I'm not going to go through this whole thing right now, but it seems like they want to do more of this stuff in the future. And I heard pretty good input or pretty good feedback on this whole system that they created. And then lastly, guys, it wouldn't be a market update video without me throwing in my own project in here, Jellycubes. First off, thank you to everyone buying Jellycubes. Thank you for everyone staking to the Block Investment Group pool. As far as things that are coming out or have come out recently, we just redid our whole entire site. It looks really amazing. We have a whole entire automated doxing service. So if you're a project that wants to dox, you can go through this. It's super quick. We have whitelist collabs. We're going to do advising in the future. And the big thing is for you guys, if you're someone that is new to the space or is simply looking for projects that have doxed, we've already had 47 projects dox in the first week. And you can go on our dox calendar in the website and see projects that took that next step of transparency to dox their project. You can see their mint time, the supply, the mint price. You have all of their different socials down there. And this hopefully will be a good asset to those in the community that are tired of getting into different rug pulls. You can also scroll down here, guys, and you can see some projects that have already minted out. We also have our lending platform almost finished. It's going to be an automated lending platform that will hopefully be done in the next 1 to 2 weeks. And then our custom nodes, which are also listed here, need about another week of work after that. So I'm hoping all of this can be finished in this month and that you guys are going to start being able to use those services. And then when it comes to our whole entire HeroCubes thing, I swear, guys, I'm working on stuff behind the scenes right now. We're actually going to do a cool partnership with Wolves of Rome, for example, where in order for anyone in the community to earn one of these HeroCubes, if they place in the #1 seed for Wolves of Rome, their whole entire card game, you'll actually be able to get one of these. And we're even working with like Spacebudz Society to do a cool mission for one of our other hero cubes. So we really want to integrate these in a way where everyone has an opportunity to get one of these. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up this video here, guys. A lot of stuff happening in the market right now in the grander scheme of things that I'll probably make a whole entire video on. But the big thing is to be safe. Don't over leverage. Don't spend a ton of money in new projects right now unless you're super bullish. And I do think right now is the time to be in some of your safer things. And if you're someone that struggles with liquidity a lot, make sure to check out our lending platform that's going to be coming out hopefully this month, as well as potentially do that whole CNFT jungle trick where you can just have things pre-listed at prices that you'd be willing to sell at in the future, so you don't always have to actively look at it. But yeah, that wraps up this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope everyone here has an awesome day.